Welcome to TradeTheMGuy.com. This is John's report is for the 12th, and wow, we shot back up, and then reports came out that Biden's COVID advisor wants a complete lockdown to save the economy. Yeah, well, that really didn't make any difference to the market one way or another. What we're seeing is just this massive swing of long-term buyers with the red DOC now over zero, which poses some challenges for it because at the same time you've been seeing a stark increase of shorts, which are now pushed all the way here to the zero line as well. If we look, they're pretty close. We got red at 98, negative 58 for cyan. So when that happens on a daily, you got to be thinking about it because it doesn't happen that often. So worth noting. NASDAQ, likewise, we said this would be the leader. And it has been, did the same things from before. I mean, matched the highs and then came back. Of course, the S&P had to make a new high, just relatively because it was shy of things. But again, slight disparity between their readings because as you can see here, you almost have a DOC spread. I mean, it literally is right on the precipice of it. Interesting, we don't have any separation of magenta green, meaning that fade here, you would expect to see the magenta move up if it's going to be anything significant. And at this particular point, not getting that reading. Kind of in a status quo despite all of the political rumblings, everything else. It's not relevant to what the Fed is going to do. The only bonus would be any discussion about bringing back stimulus talks. That could change everything. Death spiral of the euro is not even worth talking about anymore, and likewise gold, because of this inability to get new stimulus, takes away this immediate pressure towards relief in the form of asset protection. Yeah, let's scroll back to the beginning of the day. We had a lot of fun stuff take place within these setups, and it becomes interesting when you see this kind of like wild up down ABC setup as people are rotating back and forth. You really begin to get that clarity view of what we talked about when that steel drops below and the orange shoots up, and then you get the converse action coming back with steel below red, and you shoot up, and it just back and forth until it finally gets a little bit of clarity. Now in this case, we had our cyan under red, boom, we had the nice shoot up, and then lovely DOC spread with a full steel reset. And what's interesting about those is I like to follow them because what you're looking for is that steel to kind of fail, because when it doesn't and crosses back above, that becomes a bullish move. And as soon as that does that, you're looking for an orange dip. And in this case, you get it, but bingo is your name right here as the steel crosses below, orange above. Particularly like it when orange is below cyan and crosses above. Does that really gives you that extra oomph. But this was clean. But at the same time, you turned around, you had green over, and then it inverted. The only thing you didn't get, though, is steel crossing back below cyan. And so when orange dipped back below, it's just a matter of waiting for it to get under the red-green, which is what created the blue candle in the first place. And that led to just kind of a soft move. You weren't seeing anything. Again, you had a little weak signal. And it happens right on time. I mean, it happens there. You get some of the weakness. And then it just kind of faded across until you had your dip back below, and some crazy stuff was taking place within the Power Mode 2 there. And then it just turned around and went straight to the north side. Again, cleared DOC spread. And you'll look at that action again right here where the steel then fades after a reset. This is where you've got your tight moment where is this going to pop on me or is it going to flip around? And then sure enough, steel lower, orange moves above, and that gives you the clear signal lower until back here you get your orange dip, which gives you an orange candle at the same time. And again, this is where the green's above, and then it flips back and then does what? The exact reversal. So once it reversed, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that it's going to be positive. You have to have the orange fall and dip below, and in this particular case, it does it right over here. You can follow any one of those, and that led to the move up before this most recent And of course, you got your litterings of positive extremes. They weren't really significant because of where they took place. They were already up at the high levels, so they got filled pretty much immediately. That's why I didn't really bring those into. But if we'd had them sooner or in different spots, that would have been more relevant. The ones that took place right here at the end of the day kind of show you a little bit of where that was at. They weren't taking place until the very ends of runs, which kind of ideal because it makes it easy to see that effective move. So DOC spread there. Orange is coming from the bottom and again crosses above, so that tends to be bullish. So I'm flipping to a bullish meter and waiting for orange to dip back down below. And it does that, and then of course you might be thinking, oh my god, what a disaster, because you get this big giant collapse bar right after that, but it worked its way right back up immediately. It was a little shakeout bar trying to freak you out. And that's where looking at the shakeout is so relevant, because in this you're kind of wanting to see that push-up of yellow moving above magenta. So magenta's at 1309 and you're at minus 1333. I'm waiting until I get that one, which is the 12 minus 1272 over the minus 14. That's the first crossover. So it kind of lets you know, and it's just a matter of it was just straight jump from there. Too far, too fast. Gave us a positive extreme that was right down there at the 35, 54 range. And so depending on whether you jumped on this split right here, which I think is a powerful one, simply because you had all four reactions happening at the exact same time, even on a peak. You can certainly watch whether it's going to be a short-lived one, but at least I know I got a positive extreme target. So this is kind of one of those short-term, really quick, like, okay, I've got my spread move right there. Can I take advantage of peak price, and really go after it, because you get that steel crossing. You've got the cyan over green, green moving under red, red is rated 0. All those things. It's still a little precarious because you're shooting up here with your power mode 2 and that. So this is one of those top catchers that I'm looking at. Little smaller highs and much lower shakeout. Not ideal. I would have loved to have seen a higher shakeout with the lower price tag. That would have been a clearer divergence, but it just indicates too that once I get my target, you got to be thinking, hey, this is going to flip around, because that's what we've been seeing, is this chop back and forth as people rotate back and forth through this, because there's still a whole lot of uncertainty. Don't confuse yourself. That hasn't happened, and we're still getting pretty impressive range. So no objections to any of those things, as long as we're just following it along and being able to see it so cleanly. As always though, I will update you on anything relevant on the Skype chat. Trade well. We'll talk in there.